Here we are live, Playboy, playing with the house money, on front row, in your face, big bag bets. Yeah, shit, it's going motherfucking down over here. If you want to cash a ticket, this where you need to be, live and in living color. Fun Saturday football, and away we go. Hey, I'm so glad that you could make it. Nice meeting you here. Here's where you will get your college football best bets. Not only that, all sports year round.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Isn't that why you're here?
Dixie Parlay Fair, live from, playing with the house, money. Where we have done so much with so little for so long that it seems we can do anything with nothing at all in no time flat. Now, let's get to the money. Here is your week 1 Saturday, special edition. Playing with the house money second phase, Saturday edition. Virginia 13 and a 1-2 against Coastal Carolina with a total of 57. Virginia was a 5-7 team last year. They have 15 starters back, 7 offense, 8 on defense, with the quarterback being Chandler Morris, who played last year at North Texas. He was pretty decent. He passed for 3,700 yards in the air raid offense. Coastal Carolina counters with 9 starters back, 6 on offense, 3 on defense. The quarterback will be M.J. Morris, who came over from Maryland after throwing for 1,700 yards. Wasn't really a good quarterback. Coastal and Virginia met last year at Coastal, where Virginia walloped them 43-24. I think Virginia puts another whooping on that ass. Virginia 41, Coastal 21. Here we have a squad loved by a lot of people. James Madison, 25 and a 1-2 against Weber State with a total of 51 and a 1-2. James Madison was 9-4 last year. This year, they returned 10 stars for offense, 6 on defense. They'll be facing off with Weber State. James Madison gets back to quarterback Alonzo Barnett, his ACL in the championship game against Marshall. James Madison was pretty good last year, averaging almost 34 points a game. I think in this game, they should do enough to run away with Weber State. James Madison, 37, Weber State, 10. Do you think this game will feature a lot of offense? We're talking Iowa minus 39 against Albany with a total of 50 and a 1-2. Iowa's coach Kurt Ferrent has been here for 27 years last year. Esquire was 8-5. He brings back $12,705 on defense, and he inherit quarterback Mark Gronowski, who won back-to-back national titles at South Dakota with a quarterback record of 49-6. The Great Danes of Albany were 4-8 last year, not really a good team. They don't feel well against the FBS, but I think Iowa giving up 40 is still just too much. Iowa 45, Albany 14. And by the way, I love the over more than anything. Oklahoma 39 and a 1-2 against Illinois State with a total of 61 and a 1-2. Oklahoma Sooners were just an average team last year at 6-7. They bring back 8 on offense, 8 on defense, and they get in the transfer portal Washington State's quarterback John Mateer, who threw 3,000 yards last year. 3,100 yards, 29 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Oklahoma defense is pretty decent. They only gave up 21 points a game last year. This year they lose some key players, but still have a strong top 10 defense. Oklahoma likes to crush weak teams out of the gate. I'll call for a mauling. Somebody called security. Oklahoma 53, Illinois State 10. Another non-attractive game will be Middle Tennessee 15 against Austin Peay with a total of 53 and a 1-2. Another less than average FCS team should get dog walked by Middle Tennessee, who last year did not do good offensively, but this year they do have all of their starting offensive linemen back and a 4-year quarterback. I think first game they should actually throw the ball a lot more and they should be much improved. Just do away with this. Just do away with this team. Middle Tennessee 38, Austin Peay 10. I really think this next game we should get some offensive fireworks. We have Texas A&M 23 and a 1-2 against UTSA with a total of 58. The Texas A&M Aggies are led by Coach Mike Elcoy in his second year. He did pretty good at 8-5 last year. He returns 15 starters, 8 offense, and 7 defense. They have a really good young quarterback returning in Marcel Reed. He's just a sophomore, but he's a dynamic sophomore. The defense can hold his own against anybody. This year, 8 starters are back, so they should be stronger. UTSA was never a team to stop anybody on defense, but they do have a pretty good offense that averages 33 points a game. They have a quarterback back in Owen McCowan, who last year passed for 3,400 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. With that being said, we're going to make this short and sweet. I like UTSA plus the 23, and I love it to go over 58. Texas A&M 41, Ute say 27. In this ugly matchup, we have South Alabama 28 and a 1-2 against Morgan State with a total of 51 and a 1-2. I actually don't like either one of them, and I don't have a lot to say about them, but what I can say is I don't trust South Alabama out of the gate. So I'm going to go with Morgan State plus 28, 1-2 under 51, and a 1-2. South Alabama 28, Morgan State 10. We're not going to take up too much time with this next one because we already know the outcome. We have the Vanderbilt Commodores, who are no longer the doormats of the SEC. They pulled out some real tough wins last year, and they actually get back their outstanding playmaker, Diego Pavia. He was granted an extra year of eligibility. Vandy, 37-1-2 against Charleston Southern with a total of 59. Vanderbilt, 51, Charleston Southern 10. Yes, because we have Troy 21 and a 1-2 against Nicholls State with a total of 48. His Troy team was 4-8 last year, and they bring back 10 starters, 5 on all 5. On defense, Goose Crowder will be the quarterback, and I think they should be able to cover this spread over lowly Nicholls State. Troy 42, Nicholls State 17. We have a good one for you. Nah, just bullshit. Arkansas State 14 and a 1-2 against Southeast Missouri with a total of 59 and a 1-2. Quarterback Jalen Ray Noah had an average season of Arkansas State last year, but Southeast Missouri had a really good record in the FCS last year, going 9-4 and playing its only FBS opponent to a pretty close game. With that being said, I think they actually could cover the 14-1-2. I'm going with Arkansas State 23, SE, Missouri 17, Kansas State back from Ireland 25 and a 1-2 against North Dakota with a total of 55 and a 1-2. A good friend of mine graduated for Kansas State, and I know how he felt about last week's game against Iowa State in Ireland. Personally, I don't think Avery Johnson is a good quarterback. I think he's average at best. He can't pass. He can only run. He doesn't make good decisions. I think North Dakota can keep this under the total. Kansas State 35, North Dakota 17. West Kentucky showed up and showed out last week and covered that money this week. We have Western Kentucky 27 and a 1-2 against Northern Alabama with a total of 61 and a 1-2. I think history repeats itself here. Western Kentucky 51 in, Alabama 17. Up next, La Tech 14 and a 1-2 against Southeast Louisiana with a total of 50 and a 1-2. This should be a no-brainer. Southeast Louisiana is a garbage dweller in the FCS, and La Tech should be able to flex their muscles. La Tech 27 SC, Louisiana 7. Next up, the cheating Michigan Wolverines, 34 and a 1-2 against New Mexico with a low total of 49. Michigan returns 14 starters, 7 on offense and 7 on defense, plus they're breaking in a freshman quarterback, the best player in the nation in Bryce Underwood, who actually got an $8 or $10 million NIL deal. New Mexico loses their all-everything quarterback in Devin Dampier, who is now at Utah. I don't know if that equates to a 34-point spread by Michigan. I'm going to keep it safe. I like Michigan 32, New Mexico 10. Another fun matchup with USC 35 and a 1-2 against Missouri State with a total of 59 and a 1-2. USC is returning 16 starters this year for this Lincoln Riley team. 9 offense, where offense is supposed to be a specialty for Riley. He's supposed to be a quarterback whisperer. I don't know about that shit. Seemed like he's falling off to me. But this year he has Jaden Mayava, who took over last year from Miller Moss. Missouri State was 8-4 last year, but the games that it did have against FBS teams, they really played pretty good. 35-1-2 is a lot to cover in the first games, and there's a lot of teams doing it. I just don't see USC doing it. I'm going to hell on the side of caution, and I'm going to call for USC 45, Missouri State 21. Once again, sweet memories of a bum bowl. Utah State 6 against UTEP with a total of 61. Here we have two teams who are once again basically star nova. Utah State brings in proven coach Bronco Mendenhall, but he's only getting $8 back, 2 on offense, 6 on defense, and he did really good last year in New Mexico. That's because he had Dampier. Now he has a chance to work with nothing. Once again, the bum bowl rule, one bum can't give another bum nothing but bum shit. Let's call it like we see it. I like UTEP in an upset. UTEP 28, Utah State 21. Next, so we have a team who's looking for lofty expectations this year. That would be the Texas Tech Red Raiders, minus a whopping 52 and a 1-2 against Arkansas Pine Bluff with a total of 62 and a 1-2. Texas Tech is returning arguably the most returning starters in the FBS with 10 on offense, 11 on defense. Baron Morton is the starting quarterback. He had off-season shoulder surgery, but should be 100%. The deep end should be better, although he gave up an average of 34 points a game. Texas Tech does love to score a lot of points, and they are overbid almost every game. Arkansas Alpine Bluff is a bottom feeder. Texas Tech should feed like a catfish on the bottom. Texas Tech 70, Arkansas Pine Bluff 17. This next matchup is a matchup with two heavyweights, programs that normally are in the top in all college sports. We have the Clemson Tigers, who are arguably the most talented returning team in college football, and a lot of people are picking to win it all. On the other side, we have the LSU Tigers. These are two Tigers going in for the kill. Clemson 4 against LSU with the total of 56. I know everybody's been saying that Coach Brian Kelly is on a hot seat because he has lost his first 4 season openers at LSU. So what the fuck? Clemson was 10-4 last year, and they returned 17 starters on offense, 9 on defense. The offense is led by Cade Klubnik, a preseason All-American and Heisman Trophy candidate. The defense should hold his own, but they did give up 23 points a game last year. I don't know. I look at the games that Clemson had against heavyweights, and they didn't show me shit against Georgia. They lost 34-3 against Louisville. They lost 33-21, and against South Carolina, they lost 17-14. They got smashed in the first round of the playoffs by Texas, 38-24. Not impressive at all to me by beating those average teams that they did. LSU returns 16 starters from a 9-4 campaign last year, 8 on offense, 8 on defense. They are also led by Heisman frontrunner and quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. I actually like Nelson Meyer. I think he's pretty good last year. He threw for 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I actually think LSU has a good chance for the upset. I don't like them in the first half, but I like them for the game. LSU 36, Clemson 33. That honorary coach Lane Kiffin is up next. Just an offensive guru who really is a quarterback whisperer. Mississippi is 34 and a 1-2 against Georgia State with a total of 61. Lane Kiffin returns 12 starters, 6 on offense and 6 on defense, but he does return a really good quarterback in sophomore Austin Simmons. Simmons is a star in the making. He has a really good arm, and he's a big mobile quarterback. Last year, Mississippi defense was outstanding, only allowing 14.4 points a game, which was top 5 in the FBS this year. It will be hard to match those numbers, although they will have a solid defense. Georgia State was 3-9 last year. They returned 10 starters, 6 on offense, 4 on defense. But let's keep this shit 100. They don't stand a chance. Mississippi, 61. Georgia State, 17. Let's keep bum bowls popping. North Texas, 27 and a 1-2 against Lamar with a total of 63 and a 1-2. North Texas returns 14 starters, 5 on offense, 9 on defense. The offense and defense were neck and neck last year, with the offense averaging 33 points a game and the defense giving up 34 points a game. North Texas will have Reese Poffenbarger, who led the FCS in passing in 2023 with 3,600 yards. Last year, he sat the bench at Miami. Lamar was a pretty decent team last year in FCS, and you know what? Against a bum like North Texas, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. How about that? The way I see it, North Texas 52, Lamar 38. Let's call this week's matchup what they are, another bum bowl event. We have the Golden Hurricanes of Tulsa, 6 and a 1-2 against Abilene Christian with a total of 50. Tulsa has a new coach with a total rebuild, 10 starters back, 5 on offense, 5 on defense. With that being said, I don't think, and it seems to me, the odds makers agree. Tulsa is just not cut like that. Actually, I'm going to take Abilene Christian in the upset. Abilene Christian 38, Tulsa 31. I know this might sound strange, but this is what you expect from Bumbo. New Mexico State is never a favorite, but this time they actually are. Mexico State 19 and a 1-2 against Bryant with a total of 51 and a 1-2. New Mexico State has 9 stars back. They don't really have a lot to work with. Logan Fife is the quarterback. With that being said, they have no reason to be scared of Bryant. Bryant is one of the worst teams to ever play football. Sorry, Brian, I really don't care about your feelings. Even though New Mexico State is never the favorite, I think this time they have a little wiggle room. In Mexico State 41, Bryant 10. Next up, this will be a heavyweight fight against a lightweight amateur. SMU 51 against Texas A&M Commerce with a total of 65. Coach Rhett Lashley is an expert at offense. Most of its quarterbacks have a very dynamic season this year. He has Kevin Jennings back, who last year threw for 3,200 yards, 23 touchdowns with 11 interceptions. The defense wasn't that bad, only allowing 22 points again. SMU did make it to the first round of the college football playoffs, and they expect more of the same this year. I really don't think Texas A&M Commerce can keep up, but I mean, gosh, how many points can they score? SMU 66, Texas A&M Commerce 10. Next up, the BYU Cougars. BYU Cougars had some off-the-field problems with the quarterback because, at BYU, they don't allow you to be normal. They want you to be abnormal. That's a whole nother story, but I don't know what makes you think a young man in college playing football does not want to have sex. Crazy shit to me. Just for the record, they're all getting pussy at BYU. BYU 43 and a 1-2 against Portland State with a total of 61 and a 1-2. So it's official, BYU did lose the quarterback for having sex. He was transferred, so really, I don't know who's going to start. With that being said, I cannot give up 43 points against anybody. BYU 41, Portland State 0. Come on, man, we got a few left. We got Louisiana 10 and a 1-2 against Rice with a total of 48 and a 1-2. Louisiana had a pretty good year last year, going 10-4. They only retained 7 starters, but you have a good quarterback coming through, and Walker Howard, who was previously at LSU and Ole Miss. I just don't think Rice can keep up. Easy money, Louisiana 40, Rice 10. Looks like next up we have Texas State 14 and a 1-2 against Eastern Michigan with a total of 56. I'm not going to put a lot of stock in this game. Texas State has 5 returning staters, and Eastern Michigan has 8 returning starters. This game could go either way, but I'm going to side with Texas State. Texas State 38, Eastern Michigan 14. Next up, Georgia Southern minus 1.5 at Fresno State with a total of 49.5. Georgia Southern is coming off an 8-5 record. They have 13 returning status. J.C. French will be the quarterback with the returning cast around him. This should be a really good offense. The defense has 7 starters back, so if they jail, it could be a little better. We've already had a chance to see Fresno State. They got crushed by Kansas last week, 31-7. And journeyman quarterback E.J. Warner continues to look horrible, and we wonder why anybody would give him any kind of money to play football. I'm going with my team from the South. I like Georgia Southern 38, Fresno State 21. In this late night matchup out west, we have Arizona State minus 29 and a 1-2 against Northern Arizona with a total of 52 and a 1-2. I think Arizona State should make light work of this. Arizona State 51, Northern Arizona 10, Washington State 17 and a 1-2 against Idaho with a total of 50 and a 1-2. FBS versus FCS. Washington State is in a rebuild mode. First-year coach, 8 start back, 4 on offense, 4 on defense. I don't really know what to expect, but I assume they can take care of this. I would say Washington State 51, Idaho 17, Hawaii. Got lucky last week against Stanford with that interception. That won't be the case this week. Coming off that island there, subject to a robbery, Arizona 15 and a 1-2 against Hawaii with a total of 54. Arizona has 16 starters back, led by a pretty good quarterback in Noah Fafita. Fafita was a pretty good quarterback a few years ago, and he should return form. Hawaii's quarterback was hurt last week. I don't know if that will affect the outcome, but I do know this: I'm taking Arizona. Arizona 52, Hawaii 17. Late night. Out west. California -1 against Oregon State with the total of 48 and a 1-2. These two teams see each other all the time. California has 14 returning starters with quarterback Devin Brown at the helm. Oregon State has 12 returning starters with quarterback Malik Murphy from Texas as the designated driver trying to turn this program around. In this case, I'm going to make the educated guess and take the better quarterback in Malik Murphy. Oregon State 31, Cal 21. Next up, Utah 5 and a 1-2 against UCLA with the total of 54. Utah always has a pretty good team, and this year they have quarterback Devin Dampier from New Mexico, who is really pretty good. Utah returns 17 starters, 10 on offense, 7 on defense, and should have a really good way around the squad. They always have a pretty good defense, but to add a solid offensive quarterback should put them over the top. UCLA brings in Nico Iamaleava from Tennessee, where he bucked on the team for more NIL money, and then he gets to UCLA and doesn't start. I don't know how this shit works out. I don't think they're prepared, and I don't think Deshaun Foster can coach. Give me Utah 34, UCLA 17. Last but not least, Washington 21 1-2 against Colorado State, but a total 52. With all that being said and done, I'm going to take my chances with Colorado State, Washington 31, Colorado State 21. Catch me tomorrow. I'll knock off the last of these lockbox picks. Yours truly, the boy Dixie Parlay Fair.